Hi, welcome back. I thought today we'd go over builds for the champs we used in the Hydra team. So we're just going to start with the overall stats for Michaud. He's obviously in our lead. I preferred him with the lead, bringing the attack, and he went a lot and did more damage. I've basically favoured speed over crazy damage. I would ideally like to have him at about 6,000 attack with close to 300% crit damage, but I can't get that on my account with that speed if I'm trying to go for one of the sets that ignores enemy defense. So be it Savage, Lethal, Instinct, or even some of the newer sets that have come out. In an ideal world, I would like to put him in this new set, Merciless. I think on his 4 set, getting a chance to decrease a random skill cooldown would be really big for him because we are only using 2 skills. This is turned off for the Hydra. So if that procs, this is coming back, so the leeches are going to go back out, the speed and the damage on your team is out. It's just a good all-round upkeep. So yeah, I went for Instinct. It's the only gear that I had that I could get him at that speed whilst ignoring defense. Obviously Savage, Lethal, other kits will do it, but I struggled to keep this in the way of speed. Maybe a compromise could be made. Maybe we could bring him down to about 230, 240 and maybe pump up to 5,500, close to 6,000 on the attack. But he has got very, very weak base defense and HP. He's not very strong. So if you can get a bit of survivability on him, he will heal himself. But sometimes in the Hydra, you just get a bit unlucky and a combination of things happen. But on the team, we've got Morley. So if someone dies, she can bring him back. So speaking of, before Morley, we'll do Masteries. I think this is the best. I've been playing around with a few different ideas, and the way I had him built before was a bit all over the place in terms of Masteries. So I think this would be better suited for Hydra, in that we've gone to extend buffs and also extend the debuffs we're putting out. We've got Law of Steel. A typical damage build would normally branch out a little bit, but I just thought this was the better way. If you were going for a very heavy ignore defense on all of your gear, and I think the answer would be Helm Smasher. But I think for argument's sake and for all-round content, I think sticking with War Master is best. So we'll move up to Morley. Starting with the Masteries, that's how I've got her kitted out. I basically went for a resistance and just speed, resist, accuracy. That's all she's really there. She doesn't really do any damage at all, so I just need her fast, be able to take at least a good hit, and resistance is always good for keeping debuffs off. This one again, I actually chose to extend the duration. I quite like the idea that Morley can be the mischief tank, so if she can extend her reflect damage that she puts on herself, that just makes her a bit more of a viable target. Plus she's defense based, so she'll live. So gear, I went for a reflex set, because just like Michaud, we're only actually using 2 of our skills. I've got the heal turned off. No, it doesn't need to turn off. It will only activate if someone dies, so it can just be left. But she's only ever going to have this provoke on cooldown. So it kind of makes sense that the reflex set, it could bring you that provoke back. Sometimes it just comes in when you really need it. Apart from that, just accuracy. The main thing with Morley was just getting her fast. Fast, lots of accuracy, because I chose for her to be mischief tank, decent resistance. Definitely okay on hard. When I use her on brutal, she does get her buff stolen, so 420 is not enough for brutal. Next up, we'll go with the monkey. He's not in great gear sets that particularly benefit him for Hydra. It's a bit of a mix. 2-piece Merciless, Perception, and the only reason I've got Retaliation on him was because it was the only gear I had that met the speed. I managed to get 2 triple rolls on the set, so it was just a load of speed, so I couldn't really not use it. Same sort of build as Michaud. He's got a little bit more crit damage, a little bit more accuracy, but much the same. It's just a typical DPS build, get as much damage and speed, but I once again have chosen to focus speed because I do like to use him in the arena, and I wouldn't want to drop him really any lower than he already is. Masteries, just a bit of everything. I wouldn't change them exclusively for Hydra, so I am just going to keep mine like this. He's got a damage stat, and he's got his accuracy for when we're using him outside of Hydra. Next up, we'll go for Mithrala. Stats. Obviously accuracy for her is resistance, so I've sort of gone with that. I've just gone for an insanely fast arena sort of build with her. I built her in kind of the same way you would maybe build an Arbiter. Just as much speed as possible, good health, decent-ish survivability, and obviously lots of accuracy and resistance. I wouldn't worry about damage on her. As long as she gets that hex out and cleanse your teams as much as possible, she's good. Masteries, I went for accuracy. So obviously that's probably the most beneficial thing on her. Accuracy and survival. I think you kind of can't really go wrong. On to Lydia. When I first got Lydia, I was so excited. I just put all of my best gear on her. And I sort of left her where she was for a while. But after doing the recording of the video before, I have upped her speed a little bit because I didn't like the fact that she was running behind the DPS. That kind of doesn't make sense. So we've upped her to 274. I think there'll be a bonus in Hydra. Really good survivability stats. She's going fast. She's got a lot of accuracy at 408. She's now got, with the gear change, she's definitely got too much resistance. So in the Masteries, I've gone for resistance. I would consider copying the Masteries exactly as they are, but instead of that, I'm going to probably go for accuracy because that's what I need. But if you need resistance, go that side. You know, it depends what she needs. One day, the blessing can be a thing. I think 5-star blessing. Yeah, 75 resist, 75 accuracy. I think once you've got that 5-star blessing pretty much on any champion, it takes the load off the gear that you have to put on it. So yeah, that's how she's built. She's pretty much just built fast and accurate. Speed, perception, this righteous, just speed. So that's Lydia. And then the last one will be Shamail. Where is he? This one here. He's just in a mixture of sets, just whatever I could get him in. He's actually not in great gear. He's just running it. Yeah, probably average DPS. He doesn't need the accuracy for Hydra. It's actually not necessary. It does sometimes help when he's reducing the buffs, but I wouldn't worry too much about accuracy on him. He does hit really, really hard. He's got a lot of abilities that ignore defense. So my opinion would be to take something like this, but just make it better. He's absolutely fine at 230 speed. You don't need to go faster. Mine needs to be crit capped. So just a damage build. He's pretty tough. He'll live. Masteries. Yep, because I avoided the accuracy, I've gone down like this. I don't know if this is the best mastery build for Shamail. It's something I'd have to look into, but it works. I get War Master procs on his counterattacks. Yeah, he's in quite a simple build. So that is that. I'm going to do another video probably in a minute, or maybe tomorrow when we've got the artifact enhancement. I got a lot of gear over the fusion. So there's a lot, and I'm going to go through just how to be a little bit more brutal with the gear so that we don't end up with thousands. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one, mate.